Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and Rian Johnson's having himself a little meltdown on Twitter. Because, oh god, I gotta go back. I gotta go to the beginning of this lovely little story. It's so precious. It's so precious what's happening out there. So there's this dude on Twitter whose name I'm not even going to name because nobody cares about him. He's not important, so I refuse to give him any more publicity because he doesn't deserve any. Also, by the way, if you hear a lawnmower, I'm in Iowa at my friend's house and she's mowing the lawn, so that's why. Anyway, so some little Twitter hack is off on Twitter being all like, I think The Last Jedi is a classic that only benefits from repeat viewings, and I'm feeling salty today, so I'm going to go tell people about that. And already I'm like, what is your life? Like, how sad is your existence that you are having a bad day, so you want to take your bad day and just run around trying to piss people off? Like, that's what you do when you have a bad day. Great. When I have a bad day, I make a point to smile at strangers because I know that they'll smile back and it will uplift their day a little bit. And me seeing how their day has been uplifted will uplift mine because, I don't know, I like to be an agent of good and positive things in the world and not of horrible trash and garbage like The Last Jedi and defending its lack of quality. So anyway, this a-hole waltzes around Twitter and is doing this. Rian Johnson retweets him and is like, I love you. Like, really? Really? Mr. Hotshot, Mr. I am such an incredible director. I am so good at Star Wars. I owned my Star Wars movie. Is on Twitter being like, yes, go harass the Star Wars fans. Please go harass people who hated The Last Jedi because I need random Twitter losers to defend my work. Before we go any further, let's just unpack this. Let's just unpack this a little bit. First of all, if you honestly believe and know in your heart of hearts that Last Jedi is a fantastic film, you don't feel the need to seek out people who didn't like it just to defend it. You know it's a great movie, and you know people who don't like it are just missing out. And unless you're somehow insecure about your devout love of this movie, you don't feel the need to go around shoving it in people's faces. If people ask you about it or want to know about it or hear about it, sure, you'll be passionate talking about its wonderful filmic merits, but not seeking out people who didn't like the film being like, this is why you're a loser! Yeah. Also, as Ethan Van Sciver pointed out, and we'll get to that very, very soon, people didn't go see it again. It had a shockingly steep box office drop from week 1 to week 2 because people didn't go back to see it again the way they do with a good Star Wars film, the way I did with the Lord of the Rings movies when they came out and I saw them 50,000 fucking times in theaters. This is not a film you're like, I want to go see it again. No, it doesn't have anything you don't get anything. The only thing you get out of seeing it again is just why you were miserable in the first. Maybe you drank your way through the first viewing to forget, and so you had to go see it again to remember what you missed, and then you probably started drinking during the second viewing again, because you're like, oh shit, I forgot about this, and then you black out by the end of it. So I guess maybe you have to see it a third time so you finally figure out the ending, and then you get to the ending, you're like, oh wait, Haldo sacrificed herself, not Akbar? And then you drink more and then die. So Last Jedi causes death. Anyway, side effects of viewing The Last Jedi include death. So already we're on a bad track, but really, I mean, Rian fucking Johnson, you are a Hollywood screenwriter. You are a multi-millionaire. How sad, pathetic, and insecure are you that you need to spend your time applauding people on Twitter for harassing people who didn't like your movie? You made art and people didn't like it. You fucking move on. You're such a fucking pussy, Rian Johnson. You are such a little vagina of a man that you cannot even... look, sorry, you're not even a vagina. Vaginas at least can take it. Vaginas can take quite a bit, thank you very much. You don't even deserve that title. You're like a tight, unused butthole that can't accept anything, any criticism, without whining and crying. Like, did you go to school? Did you ever do art in school and have people critique you? How did you survive? Did you cry your way through that shit too? Whenever somebody or your teacher or your students were like, I don't really get what you're doing, did you just sit there and go, it's because you don't understand my art and my brilliance? Like, what is wrong with you? How did you get this far being so inept at taking criticism? It's shocking to me. It's just shocking. So then Ethan Van Sciver jumps in the conversation and points out to this guy why he's completely wrong. Why, oh, nobody went to see it twice. You can see this by the box office numbers. Also, my 8-year-old didn't like this movie. Also, the whole point, one of the original defenses was like, this movie's not for you. It's for children. Children didn't like it either, and also didn't buy the toys because they can't move the Last Jedi toys to save their fucking lives. And Rian Johnson, as if just to try to be like, look how important I am, tweets, Ethan Van Sciver, did you say something? I can't hear you. Which is like, dude, how sad. I mean, you are so clearly jealous of Ethan right now. Ethan, who has crowdfunded his own damn comic, who is working independently without the constraints of a boss or supervisor or anybody's oversight, just doing what he wants to do and doing what he loves to do. And y'all are just jealous. Y'all are just... You're green with envy over the fact that Ethan doesn't give a shit about what you think about him or his art, because guess what? He doesn't need your approval for it, Ryan. He doesn't need a studio to say, yes, you can do this, or no, you can't. He raised his own goddamn money. He's doing what he wants, and guess what? He has a dedicated audience of people who love what he's doing. And you know what, Rian Johnson? You do too. There is a weird, sad, pathetic, dedicated audience of people who love what you're doing. Side note, they don't. They love the fact that the movie you wrote happened to pander to their social justice narrative, and the second you do anything that doesn't, they're going to turn on you and eat you like they do. So, have fun for that in your future, my friend. But yeah, so you're just, clearly, but at this particular moment in time, as evidenced by Twitter troll number 1, you have a dedicated group of people who are willing to defend you in your movie. Why aren't you focusing your energy on that? Rather than going around and finding everybody who hates you, because that's totally how people ought to live. Just go around focusing on everybody who hates you. Give them all the attention and energy. Never mind the people who actually, for some stupid-ass reason, love you. So that just leads me to believe that Rian Johnson is a very, very sad man. Because what kind of person does that? For Christ's sake, all I have is a measly 26,000 followers on YouTube. And I get shitty comments here and there, and I get people who hate my channel and tell me I'm the worst person ever. Mostly I'm entertained by those. And the most attention I give to them is to laugh at them. But I focus more on the wonderful people who send me wonderful comments. Like my friend earlier today that I met by doing this, who thanked me for inspiring him to want to better his life. For the people who thank me for saying the things that are on their mind. For the people who tell me that they have daughters that they hope will grow up to be like me, which is the most incredible and humbling comment that I could possibly receive. And that's what I focus on. When I actually stop back and take stock of my day and my life and my work, those are the things I think about. I don't think, oh my God, somebody said I look like a boy. Because guess what? Some days I do look like a boy. Oh well, who cares? Guess what? That doesn't define my identity. Because I'm not Rian Johnson, who my apparently entire self-worth is defined by the fact that a bunch of people don't like my shitty movie. That's just very sad. Very, very sad for Rian. Anyway, this also begs another question that some people are floating around out there, which is that Rian Johnson now after the James Gunn thing, he deleted a whole bunch of tweets of his own, and now he's just out there running his mouth against Star Wars fans. So, what does this say about the future of his trilogy? Now, you know what I've said, especially since the Lucasfilm announcement that they're cooling it on their Star Wars releases, but have definitely confirmed that Benioff and Weiss are working on a new trilogy. What does this mean for Rian Johnson's trilogy? I personally believe that it's not going to happen. And I don't think also, based on everything you've seen about it, where he's also like, I'm going to work on this after my movie comes out later on, which I think doesn't come out till the fall. So you're talking about someone who hasn't even started working on his new project yet. So at the very, very least, his is going to get tabled until after the Benioff and Weiss trilogy. And if those don't do well, which, we saw what they did with Game of Thrones, so we'll see what they do with their trilogy. If the Benioff and Weiss trilogy doesn't succeed, there's no way another trilogy is going to follow that, let alone a Rian Johnson trilogy. Rian Johnson, this is I just don't understand, is Rian Johnson has demonstrated that he is an incredibly polarizing figure within the Star Wars community. Why as an executive would you keep him on? Why would you do that? Why would you want this person to continue writing films for you when you already know you've lost an entire group of your fan base just by having him there? So I really think that a lot of this and a lot of his actions and behaviors and clear, deep insecurities regarding the success of his film demonstrate that we are not going to see more in the Star Wars universe from Rian Johnson moving forward. So that's a little bit of solace I can take out of that. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. It likes being oppressed and whatever else you want to do to it. And also there's going to be some videos popping up in your corners here, so make sure you go ahead and click on those. You've got LA cheesesteak reviews. It's my very new channel. It's me and a bunch of Philly transplants talking about how terrible cheesesteaks are in Los Angeles. It's a ton of fun, so make sure you watch those episodes and subscribe. We got new episodes coming out every Sunday. Also, make sure you check out Jesse Shot First, the new and incredible t-shirt with original artwork designed by That Star Wars Girl. Also, click Get Involved with Me if you want to know more different ways to get involved with this channel and help it grow, like PayPal, Patreon. These are excellent ways to give to the channel because YouTube loves to demonetize me, and I don't exist without your support. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Jesse Milestone, at Instagram at Mindless Entertainment. You can check out Teespring for all my other amazing designs, and click that video to find out other ways to get in contact with me. And I thank you for your support, and it all helps my channel grow. God Empress out.